Hello everyone. Today it's a different type of video compared to my previous videos. This video is more of an overview of how a full stack task management app is built. Don't think this is only for full stack developers. This is for everyone and you will know why. I have built a task management app last week. However, I do not want to continue developing it further because the features are endless. So I thought of sharing it with you all instead of just keeping it idle on my GitHub. This way it is beneficial for you as well. It is not just a tutorial project, it is a well structured and functional real task management system. So there are several ways this project could be useful to you all. First of all, you can check the architecture, you know and understand what tech stack and dependencies are required to achieve this type of application. You can see how front end and back end interact with each other. The API design, you may not build APIs if you are a front end developer. However, understanding how all this works, how a backend developer designs the APIs to give the data that front end needs, gives you a better understanding when you are working on a project, and also a slight edge over the other developers who doesn't know how backend does the things they do. So and also in real life scenarios in office, almost everyone works on an existing project. You won't be building new projects and company that often. It's very rare. So you should familiarize yourself on understanding the code written by others. You can also understand how to organize a project, to structure folders, and how I followed the separation of concerns concept. The list goes on and on, but I don't want to continue explaining everything. I hope you got my point. Take a fork of this project, improvise it, and put your own version of the app. Maybe you can put it on your resume or just practice it. So let's see how to set this project up. So this is the project I'll be sharing with you. Currently it is private. I'll make it public once I publish this video. I tried to be as clear as possible in the readme. So yeah, just an overview of what it does and a couple of screenshots showing the UI. Then the architecture. So the framework we are using is Flask and Flask RESTful for the Python backend, and we are using SQL Alchemy. Again, this is not a tutorial on Python or Vue or the database, everything. I'm just giving you the overview of how we build this kind of project, what are the things to keep in mind, and especially how to set up this particular project and use it. So I will try not to explain too much when I'm going through. I'll just give you enough information on setting this project up and running it. So for database, we are using Postgres, and in the front end, as you can see, Vue, Axios, Tailwind, and others. And the time zone and date handling I have put here separately because I've seen a lot of people getting confused when they are trying to build applications where the users use them from different parts of the world. So the best practice is always store the dates in the UTC format in the backend, and when you are retrieving them in the front end, you can convert them to the local time. This way, a standardized format is always there in the backend, and in the front end, you always use the local time. And the UI navigation flow just explains the main pages in the app. So the dashboard, which has the overview and some tasks assigned to you. Then project home, which has the project details, sprints, and tasks. And task view is the view of each task and its progress and activity logs. Then status tracking. So you will know from the time the project is created until it is ended, whatever happened, who did it, and at what time they did it. Everything is being tracked. So coming to the setup, First we will clone this project, and then we will follow these instructions. So I'll open my VS Code. So here I'll clone the repository. For me, it will show the option directly because I'm logged in. For you, you should go to the the project repository, click on this code and copy this URL. Now click clone and enter the repository URL. Select the destination and open it. So as you can see, we have the project code imported. Now let's follow the steps one by one on what it says in the README file. So first thing, to install and run the front end. So we have to go to the front end folder. We have to go to the front end, that is a UI folder, and install everything and run it. So I'll open the terminal. So cd UI npm I or npm install. This will take some time, so let's see what are the next steps. So we'll just type npm run dev, and note, even if you install this and run, you will just see an empty page, nothing, because the backend is not running and there is no data. Okay, it is installed. Now let's run it. As I said, it's just a empty page now, and you don't see any details because there is no team, nothing. So let's continue with the next steps. So the backend, we have to go to the backend folder, then create a virtual environment, which is a good practice if you're using Python. Then you have to activate the virtual environment. Then you have to install all the dependencies, the requirements. So let's go back to the VS Code, create a new terminal, cd API. So first creating the virtual environment. I'll close the sidebar. So yeah, this will create a virtual environment inside this API folder, which you can see here. Now we have to activate this. I'm on Windows, so I'm using this command, else you have to use the other command that I showed on the README. Now you have to install the requirements. I'll just copy this. So even after this will not work because we have to do another step. First, we have to set our PostgreSQL URL, that is with the database name and also the password. The installation is done. Now in the config.py, you can see here the commented URLs. So at this point, I assume you already have the Postgres installed on your system. I'm using pgadmin to manage that, and I have a password, so I'll uncomment this line, and here I'll enter my password and the database name. So my password is just, and database name we will set now. So let's go to the pgadmin app. So by default, I just have one server and one database. So I'll create a new database. I'll call it Sprintly and save it and enter this Sprintly in our code. So for the database name, we have to give Sprintly and save. I mean the database name that you have given in your PG admin or any other software. Now this should work. I mean, at least we should be able to run the app. So Python app.py. So yes, you can see that it is running the app. However, there will still not be any data. In the README file, you can see that we have to run the migrations. So we use migrations to keep a log of the changes that we do to the database. So it's useful in the long run. At any point, you can go to a previous point and take the database from that point. So for now, to keep everything clean, I'll just run these. Close this app and now paste this and press enter. Now you can see that it created some migrations folder. So once you make any changes and if you would like to come back, you can just come back to this point. That's the use of the migrations. And now if we check the database, in schemas under tables, you have the tables created. However, they are empty. So we have the tables created, but there is no data. So I'll close that. Let's see what's the next step is. To seed the database means we will add some sample data. I have created some code to add some sample data, so you can see it like it's working. I mean, you can see some data so that it doesn't look empty. So you can find this file in the root folder. So here it is. I'll collapse everything. We have this. So you just need to copy this, all the code, go to PG admin, right click on your database and select query tool. And here, just paste it and run the script. As you can see, it ran the script. I'll close this and check if we have the data. As you can see, now we have the data. We have users. We should have all the data that is required. Sorry, all rows. So dummy tasks. One thing to remember is that this is not the actual format for the description. It's just array of strings. There is no key value pairs. So if you try to edit a task, it will definitely throw an error because of this formatting issue. Since this is just to show some dummy data, don't worry about editing the task. If you are actually trying to create a new task, that will not throw any problem. So either just delete all the descriptions or just don't edit with this dummy data. So the next step is to set up the user information. I'll just use a panday. So if you go to the frontend folder, UI, source, utils, user config, which is actually mentioned here. Here you need to set some user that is there in the database. So in the users, we have several people. I'll take someone who is an admin. Okay, I see only one admin here. There is only one admin. That is Sarah. So I'll use Sarah Johnson username. You can take the member role user as well, but you will not see all the options. So I'm taking the admin username and the team is product. Cool. So I'll save this. Also make sure the ID is same. For Sarah it's 15, so user ID should be 15. Now I hope it should work. So that's all you need to get started. Let's see if our UI is looking good. I mean, if we have any data. Okay, we have all the data. As you can see, the dummy tasks, dummy projects, all looking good. So I'll try to be as concise in my explanation about what's happening in the project, what we have now, the features. So in the project, the main homepage or the dashboard, we have all the projects that this user is a part of, not all the projects in the database. You will see the projects that user is in. This is like the user dashboard, so it's specific to user. But now I'm an admin, so I will see some other options like this create thing. This I will see only if I'm the admin. And we have the recent projects on the top right, and then you have the tasks that are assigned to you here. So in the all projects, you can see the team projects and all the projects that are there in the database. Since you are admin, you can see all the projects. And currently there are no projects of her team, but since she is an admin, she can see any project. So let's open a project, payment gateway. So this is the project details page. In the project page, so this is the graph. On the right side, you can see the total tasks, how many completed, in progress, all those things. And you have the sprint based view. So sprint 1, 2, 3. These are sorted based on the status, but currently all are planning, so it's ordered generally. Otherwise, active will show on the top. Then we have tasks. We just see all the tasks for that project instead of based on the sprints. Details will have some description and who are all in the team. Activity, since we created dummy data, we don't have it, we don't have anything here, but if we make some changes, it will be updated. Let me create a sample sprint. I'll keep it active. Created. Now you can see the active one is on the top, the one that we just created. You can create a task here. You can edit the sprint and you can view the sprint details. Now let's see how the task view looks. In the table anywhere in this, if you click on the task ID or title, you will go to the task page. So as you can see, this task is 5 days overdue, and there is no description because of the bug I said. If you try to edit, you can see this is object. That's the reason it shows nothing. Then I think that's all. Let me create a new task and let's just show you how we can edit and how the activity tab works. So I'll create this. I'll create this. Now, if you open this, you can see the progress is 0. And we have the task activity that Sarah created this task a few minutes ago. And we have the description as well, because this is not that bug. Let's see in the database and if we can spot that task and how it is storing the data. It's task 901, so it's the last one. You can see the sample task. It's just an array of strings, and I'll try to change the status from to do to in progress, update, and maybe again from in progress to completed, update. Now you can see that the status change is updated. Ignore this due date thing as well. Since we created dummy data, we created with actual values, but in reality it stores with time as well. So that is also changed, and that's why it is also recorded. As I said again, when you are dealing with real data, these things will not happen. So that's all. Yeah, another bug I just found out. I don't know why this progress is still 0%, even though the status is completed. It should be 100%. So that's something for you to debug. Like I said, this is not a perfect project. Now you can still see a lot of data that is looking good. You can add project, you can add tasks. There are still some things like this one. See, this is overflowing, and then the progress that you saw. Sometimes when you make some changes, the data is immediately reflecting, but sometimes you have to refresh. So those kind of things are the tasks for you or exercises for you, where you have to really try to improve your product when you do something. So I think for now this is all. Let's go to readme if there is anything that I left. Nothing, just the improvement ideas. As I said, this is not perfect, so try to improve, try to find bugs, debug them, try to learn from them. And currently there is dark mode. However, I did not store this in local storage or anything, so if you refresh it will just go. So that's something you can try to work on. Then there is currently the role based view happening, but it's very minimal. It's just 2 to 3 features, but you can try to improvise this to make a complete admin or user dashboard, where admin will see a completely different set of data with a lot more statistics. And you can add authentication. I think I started this project to make it as an add-on for an existing tool, so I did not need authentication because I wanted to grasp the user IDs and names from the main tool. So I did not try to do that. But if you want to use this as a standalone tool, I think adding authentication would actually it will look like a complete product with authentication. So that would be something that you can do. And finally, yeah, this is an open source project, so you can fork it, contribute if you would like, or just experiment and make it your own and use it. And if you like this project, just feel free to leave a star on this repo. And if you'd like to connect, you can follow me or connect with me on LinkedIn and Twitter. So yeah, that's all. I'll make this public once I am done with the editing this video. I'll just add the YouTube link here and then post the video as well as the repository. I hope this was useful. I didn't mean to teach, but I just wanted to provide something useful. I hope this will be useful for some people at least. That's all for this time. See you next time.